Jason Whitlock is out here lying on Hailey Van Lith, the number 11 draft pick to the Chicago Sky, teaming back up with Angel Reese. It is diabolical what he said. And Hailey Van Lith responded. And we'll unpack all that here next, here on the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Well, guys, man, when it comes to creating narratives, man, that's what Jason Whitlock is good for. And you know all the narratives he's created about Angel Reese this past season in the WNBA, even with the unrivaled championship. Jason Whitlock cannot help himself. Always tries to find anything that he can do to insult Angel Reese. And it's time for him to be exposed by people like myself and everybody else that represents Angel Reese. Now, Jason Whitlock was on his Fearless podcast. Now, I know a lot of people say, man, just don't entertain Jason Whitlock. Don't give him the energy. But see, if you don't give him the energy, he's going to keep doing the same things over and over again until somebody calls him out and exposes him for the bullshit and the lies that he's bespewing across social media. Now, we all know what took place. The draft was last Monday, and Hailey Van Lith was drafted a number 11 pick to the Chicago Sky. Now, we all know Hailey Van Lith played with Angel Reese at LSU. Things didn't go quite well. So what did Hailey Van Lith do? She got up out of the Kim Mulkey system. She hit the transfer portal and she landed at TCU, and she had a better showing her senior year. And what did that do? That bolted her draft stock. So what happened? She moved up in the draft and she got picked number 11 by the Chicago Sky in the 2025 WNBA draft. Now, Hailey Van Lith had some great things to say about Angel Reese. She basically said her and Angel Reese never was disconnected. They always stayed in contact her whole senior year, and Angel Reese was lifting Hailey Van Lith up. So the friendship is there. And when she got drafted, she was very excited to reunite with Angel Reese. Angel Reese went on Twitter X and stated, "We didn't do it right the first time, so let's run it back." So what did Jason Whitlock do on his Fearless podcast? He just straight up lied on national television and said some things that Hailey Van Lith does not want to play with Angel Reese. She is not even interested in being a teammate with Angel Reese. He's just flat out lying and creating a narrative, and people are running with it. And then he had the likes of Scap Attack on there. Now, we all know Scap Attack is the biggest hater on social media when it comes to superstar players. He hates on LeBron James. He hates on Angel Reese. He hates on all the great ones. So what happened? Jason Whitlock had Scap Attack on there. And Jason Whitlock straight out lied with a straight face about Hailey Van Lith and Angel Reese. But before we get off into what Jason Whitlock said, we're going to play a clip, and it's very interesting. And I don't like the fact that he clipped one little soundbite right after Hailey Van Lith got drafted. But he didn't want to play the sit-down interview that Hailey Van Lith had and she said nothing but great things about teaming back up with Angel Reese. But before we get off into that, right now, I'm at 17,163 subscribers, on my way to 18,000. And if you're just new to this platform and you've come across any of my videos, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. And with the love and support from you guys, we can achieve that goal. Now let's get off into what Jason Whitlock had to say, and then how Hailey Van Lith really broke it down when she spoke highly of Angel Reese. Take a listen to what Jason Whitlock did.
Hailey Van Lith, TCU star. I think the 11th pick in the WNBA draft. She got drafted by the Chicago Sky. She used to be teammates with Angel Reese, who is the star. I wouldn't call her the best player on the Chicago Sky. She's the star of the Chicago Sky. People are gossiping that Van Lith wants nothing to do with playing with Angel Reese again. He transferred after 1 year at LSU and had a great season at TCU this past year. But let's watch Hailey Van Lith. These are her public comments about playing with Angel Reese again.
Okay, good energy with Courtney Vandersloot. You can learn from her. You're paired back with Angel Reese. There's some good energy you can walk into in Chicago, right?
Oh, I love that energy. We're ready.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, I love that energy. You know, she had a chance to drop. Great. Angel and I are familiar with each other from LSU. This is going to be awesome. Just easy, natural comments to make. Van Lith has been very honest about her mental health struggles. You know, talked about she's contemplated suicide, and she's cried on camera about how great things were at TCU. Anyway, Angel Reese tweeted out, "We ain't do it right the first time, let's run it back. We ain't do it right the first time, let's run it back."
Now you heard what Jason Whitlock had to say. Now that's played a real version of what Hailey Van Lith had to say about teaming back up with Angel Reese. Let's take a listen.
Hailey, thank you. We're going to start with questions all the way to the left in the third row.
Hi, Hailey. Maddie Kenny with the New York Post. Congratulations. Angel Reese has already tweeted about how she's excited to run it back with you. Just what does it mean to be reunited with her, and what are you most looking forward to joining forces again?
Yeah, Angel has maintained contact with me this whole past year since she's been in the league and I transferred. I really appreciate her. We have a very mature relationship, a mutual respect relationship where we both have respect for each other's game and also the character and the person we are off the court. So mostly I'm just excited to get to be around her again. I think we have a lot of similarities about how we carry ourselves and our mindset on, what's important to us. And, she's a dog, man. She turns up the intensity of everybody around her. So I'm excited to be in that environment with her again, where she can pull more out of me than I think I have.
Now you heard what Hailey Van Lith had to say, man. So basically, Jason Whitlock got caught lying on national television. Jason Whitlock said some things that he shouldn't even mention. Why would you bring up Hailey Van Lith's mental health? What does that have to do with playing with Angel Reese? So what we did was we gave y'all the real, like we give it to you all the time. We gave you the facts. We gave you the press conference that Hailey Van Lith had, and she stated her excitement to play with Angel Reese. And her and Angel Reese never lost contact. They kept in contact with each other. But Jason Whitlock takes a little small clip and says that Hailey does not want to play with Angel. And if you really go back and look at the totality of the whole thing that Jason Whitlock did say, he also said that when Angel Reese was at LSU, nobody wanted to play with her at LSU. That's a bona fide lie. They won a national championship at LSU, man. So for the teammates that was on that team that won a national championship with Angel Reese, they didn't want to play with Angel Reese. Jason Whitlock never disappoints when it comes to hating on Angel Reese and all the black athletes and bringing them down. Jason Whitlock knows exactly what he's doing. Jason Whitlock is a fat bastard, like Stephen A. Smith called him. And Jason Whitlock just creates narratives and brings people on his show that have the same narratives that he has. And Hailey Van Lith, she fired back at him because we got the real press conference on what Hailey Van Lith said about teaming back up with Angel Reese. See, this is the type of stuff that's happening right now. The WNBA started the season, is a couple weeks away, and this is what Jason Whitlock is already starting these bad trends, starting these false narratives. And, you know, I see stuff like this and I got to call them out. A lot of people will say, man, why do y'all even watch Jason Whitlock? Because if you keep letting Jason Whitlock do the things that he's doing, that's just going to go all across the web and go across social media. And people are going to piggyback off of what Jason Whitlock does. It's a copycat social media. And Jason Whitlock creates these false narratives and people run with it. And people will start lying. So we got to debunk all that stuff, man. You got to stop this, Jason Whitlock, man. It's just sad. And I'm glad Hailey Van Lith gave you the real, and I got the coverage and I got the footage, and everybody just heard the footage. So Jason Whitlock straight up lied. I see everybody in the comments section, #salute. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot, tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And that's going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap, and we're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.